Always felt like your life centered so much about Robin's house.
Don't go down that road. We're trying to heal things. More destruction is going to help us here.
Okay. Then if I can't talk freely, then let's just leave it as I don't really want to.
It's the same old argument. I don't need to be beaten into submission, made to kowtow. I'm just not. I just don't need this. In the last 18 months, I've realized that I'm pretty good. I'm independent. And I'm not going to stand here and be yelled at. I just don't need it. I don't deserve it. I don't need it.
Villainous, I guess, to kind of take away some of the blame from her. This is just gospel according to Janelle.
You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, this is unreal tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome everyone. In the Sister Wives world, every hushed word, every lingering stare, and every secret buried behind closed doors can spark a wildfire. But what if I told you that one conversation, one moment, would change everything? What if I told you that behind the safe walls of a home these women once shared, a truth was about to burst, a truth so big, it could break loyalties, rewrite history, and reveal the cracks in a family already on the brink? Today, we lift the curtain, not just on the smiles, but on the unseen battles. And you're about to see why the question isn't if this family will break, but when. Because the whispers have begun, and the people who know the truth? They're not shutting up anymore. You can almost feel it, the tension slithering across the room like electricity in the air. Robin sits rigid, her eyes jumping between Christine and Mary, the slightest quiver in her hands as she folds them in her lap. Christine leans back, arms crossed, the corner of her mouth turning into something between a smile and a warning. And Mary? She's quiet, but her eyes never leave Kody, as if challenging him to look her in the eye. Kody clears his throat, a small noise, but in this room, it's deafening. His voice begins strong, but there's an edge beneath it. He's discussing loyalty, unity, how they all need to stick together. But everyone in the room knows. That's not what this is about. This isn't about unity, it's about control. Robin cuts in, something she rarely does when Kody's talking, and that alone captures every eye. Her words are swift, chopped. She says, things weren't handled right. She says she's been kept in the dark. And when Christine releases a laugh, low, sharp, and humorless, the temperature in the room drops even lower. Christine leans forward, her voice cool but slicing. She says she's done playing along. That the decisions Kody's making? They're not for the family, they're for him. Robin squirms uncomfortably. Mary's eyes tighten. Kody's face turns red. And for the first time in a long time, no one blinks. Kody's jaw works like he's chewing on words too bitter to swallow. His gaze flicks to Robin for the briefest moment, as if he's looking for support. But Robin's no longer looking at him, her eyes scanning the table, her white-knuckled hands grasping the wood. Christine doesn't waver. You keep repeating this is in the best interest of the family, she says, every word calculated like it's been honed. But the family's coming apart at the seams, Kody. And you're the one holding the matches. Mary lets out a slow exhale, the sound almost like a laugh but stripped of any warmth. It's the first noise she's made in minutes, and it slices through the tension like glass. She's not wrong, Mary adds, voice low but steady. That's when Kody snaps. His hands slam against the table, rattling the water glasses. I have done everything to keep this family together. His voice booms, but there's a crack in it, a fracture that betrays something less like anger, and more like desperation. Christine doesn't flinch. Robin finally looks up, her voice wavering as she says, then why does it feel like you've already chosen who matters most? The words hang in the air, heavier than anything said before. Even the refrigerator hum in the other room seems to disappear. Kody's mouth is open, but there is nothing coming out. His face is strained, all his muscles stretched tight. In the quiet, Christine slowly backs away from the table, the legs scraping against the floor sound that captures all the attention. You know what the real problem is, she says, standing now. You've forgotten how it is to hear us, see us. And once you've lost that, you've lost the family, whether you like it or not. She doesn't bother waiting for a response. Robin's eyes track her as she leaves, something flickering within them, fear? Regret? Perhaps both. Mary remains seated, her gaze still fixed on Kody, as though challenging him to go after Christine. But he doesn't get up. Not even an inch. And that is when you are aware, this isn't the midpoint of the fight. This is merely the beginning shot. Christine doesn't storm out, she floats out, and that makes it worse somehow. There isn't yelling, or doors slammed. Just the sound of her steady footsteps disappearing down the hall. That unobtrusive kind of departure is dangerous, because that means she's not responding in the heat of the moment. She's made a choice. The front door closes with a click. For several long seconds, no one stirs. Robin seems like she wants to say something, but Mary gets her words out first. You didn't stop her, Mary says, turning her head. Guess that says it all. Kody's fists are clenched at his sides. You think this is my fault? He exclaims, voice rising once again. Mary does not flinch. I think you've been taking sides for years. And Christine just finally figured she's not going to play along anymore. Robin squirms in her seat. That's not fair, she begins, but Kody interrupts her sharply. Don't you start. You've been spoon-feeding this tale of leaving people behind, and now Christine's employing it too. She's using your actions, Kody, Mary cuts in, her voice icier than the December chill outside. Not my words. You provided the evidence yourself. Kody appears ready to fire back, but instead he shoves away from the table, chair scraping against the ground. His breathing is irregular, the type that indicates he's struggling to maintain something inside. He makes a dash for the door without a further word. In the outside, the camera sees him catching up to Christine on the front walkway. Snow cracks beneath his boots. His tone is low, almost desperate now, a quality we haven't heard in months. Christine, don't do this, he says, blocking her path. She pauses, eyes fixed on his. I'm already doing this. And if you actually wanted me to stay, you'd have behaved like it prior to tonight. Kody's jaw falls, then closes. He scans her face as if there's a solution somewhere within it, but Christine's face is impassive, tranquil, determined, unapproachable. Goodbye, Kody, she states bluntly. Then she walks past him, boots crunching until the sound disappears into the dark. Back inside, Robin is pacing now, chewing on her lip. Mary's still seated at the table, calm as if she's been expecting this all along. She glances toward the door and murmurs under her breath, just loud enough for the camera to catch, this was just the first one. The television screen goes dark for a second, but you understand the repercussions have only just started. The house is different now. Silent, but not serene. It is the sort of silence that is weighty, as though the walls are holding their breath. Robin continues pacing, her sock-covered feet shuffling softly across the wood floors. She looks over at Mary, who sits stiffly at the head of the table, arms crossed over her knees. At last, Robin ceases her pacing. You're just going to sit there, she asks, her tone edgier than she intends it to be. Mary regards her, tilting her head, eyes slightly narrowed. What do you want me to do? Chase after her? I'm not Christine's keeper. That's not what I said, Robin blurts out, but there's a sense of panic creeping into her voice. This isn't healthy for any of us. We can't. She stops, biting her lip, her eyes flicking towards the closed door. Mary notices it. Can't afford to what? She puts in, leaning forward. Robin pauses, as if the words are stuck. She looks around the room, as if she's checking to see if anyone else is listening, though they are by themselves. There are things you don't know, Robin finally says. Her voice is so low it's barely a whisper. If Christine begins talking about money, about certain accounts, Mary's brows rise. Accounts? Robin gives a swift nod. Kody said he'd take care of it. That it would never arise. But if she brings it into the public eye, we might lose more than just the family. Mary's face sets in a scowl. You're only telling me this now? I didn't think it would ever go this far. Robin's voice breaks, a spark of real fear flashing on her face. But if Christine does go to court about it, it's not just him she'll get dragged through the mire. It's all of us. Mary reclines slowly, regarding her like she's looking at her anew. And how much are we talking about, Robin? Robin doesn't reply. She merely swallows hard and averts her eyes. Outside, someplace, a car engine roars to life. The noise causes both women to glance toward the window. The headlights pass across the living room for a second at most, then disappear. Mary spins around, her voice low but frosty. If there's something you've been keeping secret, you better hope Christine doesn't see it first. The camera holds on Robin's face. Her jaw clenches, her eyes flash, and in that split second, you can tell, she already knows Christine has. The camera cuts to an early evening diner on the outskirts of town. The neon "Open 24 hours" sign vibrates softly in the window. Christine sits in a rear booth, her coat still powdered with snow. She continues to look toward the door, drumming her fingers on the table in an agitated beat. The doorbell rings. A man in late middle age enters, neatly dressed, holding a leather briefcase. He looks around the room, sees her, and approaches. Christine, he murmurs, swinging into the seat across from her. You told me it was urgent. She nods, sliding a fat manila envelope across the table to him. You're the only one I trust with this. But I need to know if what I discovered is what I believe it is. He opens the envelope, drawing out a sheaf of documents, printouts, bank statements, check photocopies. His eyes blink as he pages through them. Where did you find these? He asks. Christine doesn't flinch. Robin's office. She left a drawer open during a meeting last month. I wasn't looking for this, but when I saw the figures. The man leans back, shaking his head slowly. Christine, this isn't a few bucks missing. We're talking about large, unreported transfers, some to personal accounts, some offshore. Christine's grip tightens on her coffee mug. And Kody's name is on them? The man exhales through his nose. Not directly. But there are signatures, initials, and patterns that tie back to him. And if the court gets these, he lets the sentence hang in the air. Christine leans forward, her voice low. I don't care about court right now. I want the truth out. People need to see what's been happening, the lies, the favoritism, the money flowing under the table while the rest of us were instructed to tighten our belts. The man subjects her to a long, calculated stare. If you take this public, Christine, there's no turning back. It will ruin him. And it may take you through hell in the bargain. Christine's face is firm, but her eyes blaze. I'm already in hell. This is simply flipping on the light. The camera zooms in on the stack of papers. Between them, figures, names, dates of transactions, and in the bottom corner of one statement, pale but legible, the scribble of a signature that is an exact match of Kody's handwriting. Outside, the neon sign of the diner flashes. In the parking lot, we look through the glass and see a black SUV parked, idling. Someone in it observes. The camera cuts to the black SUV. Rain speckles the windshield, reflecting the red sheen of the diner's neon sign. Within, a solitary occupant sits at the wheel, the brim of a black baseball cap drawn low. The light from a phone screen illuminates their face, just enough to make it clear it's not Kody, but someone Christine wouldn't necessarily anticipate, a private investigator. He puts the phone to his ear. Yeah, he speaks softly. She's here. Not by herself. She handed something off to the guy. It appears to be documents. A momentary pause. The voice on the phone, muffled, but indistinguishable, is that of Kody. Tail them, Kody instructs. I don't care what time it gets. I want to know precisely where she's leading those documents. The investigator grins. And if she attempts to shake me? The phone is quiet for a moment, then the voice returns. I see. She won't. The engine of the SUV roars to life. Across the windshield, the investigator observes Christine slide out of the booth within, shake hands with her contact, and return the manila envelope to her bag. The diner doorbell rings as she exits into the night. She pulls her coat closer. To block the wind, unaware of the car that creeps out of the darkness behind her. Cut to Christine's car interior, she flips on the rearview mirror, engages the engine, and departs. 2 car lengths behind, the SUV follows each turn. The investigator takes photographs in the SUV, camera clicks muted through the rain. With each click, the red numerals on his dash-mounted recorder tick upward. Then, Christine's taillights light up as she slams on the brakes. She looks in her mirror, suspicion forming. In the SUV, the detective grumbles, oh. Christine doesn't turn into her driveway. She takes a sharp turn into a deserted parking lot. Her car rolls to a stop beneath a wobbly street lamp. She waits. The SUV continues on, beyond the lot, but Christine is already on the phone, dialing someone. Her voice is tight. It's me. I think I'm being followed. Back to the SUV, the investigator's phone rings. Kody's name illuminates the screen. You lost her? Kody's tone is clipped, angry. No, the investigator replies, smiling weakly. I just made her think she lost me. He catches a glimpse of himself in the side mirror, where another dark sedan now sits, observing at an acute angle. And there, in that instant, it's obvious, Christine is not just followed by a single individual. She's walking into a trap. Christine drives for another 20 minutes, the storm intensifying, wind rattling the corners of the ancient roads. Her knuckles are white gripping the steering wheel. Occasionally, her eyes dart to the rearview mirror, nothing but rain and blackness now. She exhales slowly. Okay, she says to herself. Finally, she takes a turn down a thin gravel road, the kind that doesn't register on GPS maps. At the far end perches a tiny cabin, lights out, shutters drawn. It's the safe house, something known only to 2. She turns off the engine, seizes the manila envelope, and sprints to the porch. The rain is blasting now, thumping on the tin roof overhead. She rummages through her bag for the keys, her fingers shaking. Inside, the cabin is chilly, faintly lit by the light of the dying embers of the wood stove. Christine slings her bag onto the table, shrugs out of her coat, and draws a deep breath. She goes to the stove and kneels to add fuel, when a faint squeak emanates from the hall. She freezes. Slowly, she straightens up, her eyes narrowing toward the sound. Hello? Silence. She takes a cautious step forward, her shoes creaking. On the old wooden floor. She reaches for her phone, opening the flashlight app. The beam cuts through the shadows. Down the hall, the bedroom door is cracked open an inch. She knows she left it shut last time she was here. She forces it open slowly, and gasps. Seated in the darkness, immobile in a wooden chair, is Robin. Her hair is drenched, her eyes glassy but fixed on Christine. She doesn't blink. What are you doing here? Christine's voice is pointed, defensive. Robin remains silent. She simply leans her head slightly, her eyes drifting to the manila envelope grasped in Christine's hands. You shouldn't have taken those, Robin says at last. Her voice flat and low. You don't know what's in them. What it signifies. Christine takes a step back, her grip on Robin's arm tightening. I know enough. And so will everyone else when I reveal it. Robin's mouth twists into the slightest smile. You think that this is about you? Or me? No, Christine, this is much larger. And if you open that letter, you won't just destroy Kody. You'll destroy the entire house, on all of us. Christine pauses, for a moment, and in that moment of hesitation, a floorboard creaks behind her. She turns, but it's too late. A shadow steps out from the corner, quickly, and the screen goes to black. Christine's eyes flick open. Her head is throbbing, the coppery flavor of adrenaline and fear still bitter on her lips. She lies on a chilly concrete floor, the muted whine of a generator somewhere in the distance. The air reeks of gasoline and wet earth. She struggles to sit up, squinting against the low, flickering light of a solitary overhead bulb. This is not the cabin. She's in what appears to be an old storage shed, the type which hasn't been opened for years. Rust stains seep down corrugated walls, and a heavy chain hangs from the door. Her bag is missing. The manila envelope is missing. On the ground in front of her is a single piece of paper, folded in two. She pauses, then retrieves it. The handwriting is tight, pointed. Walk away once. Keep out of this, and you live. Go further, and you'll be sorry. No signature. Only a symbol, a sketchy drawing of a wolf's head. Christine's heart is pounding. She recognizes that symbol. She remembers seeing it on the bottom corner of Kody's old business cards years ago, when he operated consulting deals no one was ever supposed to inquire about. A sound jerks her head toward the back corner, a soft scuffle, as if cloth was being dragged along metal. Who's there? She says, her voice bouncing off the metal chamber. Nothing. She steps cautiously in the direction of the noise, and almost falls over something. It's a tiny, black digital recorder. The red light flashes twice, then switches on. Kody's voice throbs in the static. Christine, if you're listening, you're already in over your head. You think you're in charge? You're not. I am. Her heart accelerates. She turns, seeking an escape, but before she can act again, there is a violent rattling of the chain on the door. Someone is opening it from the outside. The lock falls. The door creaks open a solitary inch, but only that much to allow a blinding blast of light to slice across the room. A person steps in, but their face is obscured by the flash. The door thumps shut behind. The light bulb bobs above, throwing jerky shadows on the walls as the figure moves slowly, deliberately, toward her. Christine's back against the chilled metal, her own breathing harsh and rapid. Who are you? She demands, attempting to be strong, but the shake in her voice gives her away. The figure pauses just beyond the reach of the light. For one heart-beating moment, there is silence, then a low, unmistakable laugh. It is Mary. But this is not the Mary of family dinners and strained smiles. Her hair is wet and disheveled, her eyes crazy, and she's wearing black, more staked out than she's ever staked out for a reunion. Mary? What in the world is happening? Christine yelps, confusion battling with fear. Mary leans over, the slightest smile twisting on her mouth. You shouldn't have opened that envelope. You don't know what's inside? You think it's just about Kody? Christine swallows hard. It is about Kody. And I'm not letting it go. Mary steps forward, finally into the light. And Christine notices her hands are gloved, and there's something small and metallic glinting between her fingers. Listen to me, Mary says, her voice low and urgent. With that envelope, we're all connected, in ways you can't even begin to imagine. If it leaks, you're not only bringing him down. You're taking me, Robin, Janelle, all of us, and the ones who'll follow you. She stops, her eyes narrowing. Dot won't rest until you're gone. Christine shakes her head. You're defending him. No, Mary snaps, her voice biting enough to cut. I'm defending myself. And you should be doing that too. Before Christine can utter a word, Mary throws the metal thing to the floor. It rings off the concrete, a little key. That'll let you out, Mary says, already heading toward the door. But if you're smart, you'll burn every copy, forget this ever happened, and leave the state tonight. Mary, Christine calls after her. Why now? Mary stops, her hand on the door's latch. She glances back over her shoulder, her expression unreadable. Because, she says quietly, the wolf's awake now. And once it starts hunting, it doesn't stop. The door creaks open, and she slips out into the blinding light. The chain thumps closed behind her, leaving Christine alone with the key, and 1,000 questions. Christine's fingers wrap around the key, its gnarled teeth digging into her palm as if reminding her there's no time to delay. She crosses the room in 3 rapid strides, locates the padlock, and shoves the key into place. It swings open with a reluctant click. The chain hits the floor. She pushes the door open, only to be blinded by the ferocious sun of late afternoon. The air is parched and thick, filled with the faintest smell of diesel from a faraway highway. Her heart falls. The storage yard is empty. Row upon row of uniform rust-colored units stretch out into the distance, their metal doors closed up tight, silent observers refusing to testify. Christine emerges slowly, eyes searching for movement. No Mary. No car. It's too still. She runs. Down the row, the gravel crunching underfoot, her ears listening hard for the merest sound. Every shadow seems to come alive. Halfway to the gate, she hears it, the soft roar of an engine. Christine comes to a stop. It's not from the highway. It's from behind her. She turns. A black SUV moves slowly into view at the end of the row, traveling deliberately. The windows are tinted so dark they reflect the sunlight like a mirror. Her heart leaps. She spins and takes off. The gravel gives beneath her feet, the sound of her footsteps muffled by the rumble of the engine speeding up. She approaches the gate, a chain-link fence with curling razor wire along top. The gate is locked, the keypad flashing red. No, 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 she exclaims, slamming the keys wildly. The SUV speeds up. Christine's gaze moves to the side. There is a small, narrow space between 2 units, hardly wide enough to squeeze into. She dashes towards it, scraping the corrugated metal on her shoulder as she forces herself through into the dark space. The SUV brakes hard. Doors shut. Heavy tread crunches on gravel. 2 men, close, low, male. She cannot decipher the words, but she hears the threat in them. She pushes herself against the chilly wall, breathing shallowly, her heart hammering against her ribs. A shadow crosses the doorway. One of the men hesitates, turns his head. And for a moment, one terrible, sick moment, Christine knows, he's staring straight at her. The man moves forward, his boots crunching on gravel sounding like gunshots in the stillness. Christine's eyes flick left, then right. No way out. Just an endless line of metal walls encroaching on her. He's tall, broad shoulders, black jacket, baseball cap low over his face. His gloved hand is on something at his hip. A gun? A radio? The second man's voice growls from the other side of the SUV. Well? You see her? The tall one doesn't reply. He moves another slow step towards her. Christine's pulse thunders. She sees a battered trash can in the corner of the cramped area, just enough to hide behind if she can get there. But she'll have only one chance. The man's head angles, as if he's holding his breath for hers. Now. Christine darts forward, pushing. Past the jagged edge of a metal sheet, agony tearing along her arm as she squirms through. She darts into the exposed strip at the back of the units and runs. Hey, the man yells. Footsteps echo behind her. The second man follows, their heavy boots stomping in unison, gaining rapidly. Christine weaves between 2 additional rows, dodging back and forth, attempting to shake them. She sees glimpses of the SUV through openings, the engine still running, driver holding out. Her lungs are on fire, but she goes harder. Each turn she makes is the same, rusty doors, worn numbers, the acrid taste of dust and grease. And then, up in front, she sees it. A warped piece of fence, bottom pried loose enough to slither under. She gets on her knees and crawls forward, gravel shredding her skin. She's half through when a hand grips her ankle. Christine kicks hard. Her shoe falls off, the man's hold slackens, and she pulls herself the final distance out. She doesn't glance back. She flees, barefoot smacking hot asphalt, dodging piles of shipping pallets until the storage yard is a receding speck behind her. Not until she reaches a crowded road does she pause, ducking over, chest laboring. But then, on the opposite side of the street, a movement. The black SUV. Stationary. Waiting. And this time, the driver's window comes down. Christine's gut wins as the tinted glass descends, slowly, slowly, until the driver's face is visible. Her blood runs cold. It's Kody. But not the Kody she knows from public outings, smiling, contained, the orchestrator of his own story. This Kody's face is pinched with rage, his eyes unfocused, lips drawn into a thin line. He doesn't blink. The SUV is running, the Low rumble humming through the heat of summer. Christine steps back, looking down the street. Cars whiz by, unaware. There is no place to hide, only stretches of broken sidewalk, a boarded gas station, and the dark shape of a pedestrian overpass. Kody leans forward, his arms slumped over the window ledge, a predator who knows his prey has nowhere to turn. You think you're clever? His voice travels over the street, low but mean enough to pierce the traffic hum. Christine's throat constricts. She keeps her voice even. What do you want? His smile is thin. You know exactly what I want. And you're not walking away this time. The passenger door opens. One of the men from the storage yard steps out, adjusting his gloves. Christine's mind races. She can't outrun them in the open. Her only chance is the overpass, the stairs are steep, and maybe she can lose them on the other side. She bolts. The man yells, Kody jerks the SUV into gear, and tires screech as the car spins around to pursue. Christine runs up the stairs too. At a time, her bare foot scraping against harsh concrete, but she doesn't let up. Mid-span of the overpass, she looks down. The SUV has pulled to a stop directly below her. Kody emerges, craning his head backward to look up at her. His voice booms upward. You're making a mistake, Christine. Something in the way he says it makes her stomach fall through, not a threat, but a promise. She spins around and runs, out into the labyrinth of streets on the other side. But even as she covers ground between them, she knows, this isn't over. It's just the start. Christine's legs feel like lead, each breath searing through her chest, but she pushes herself further into the neighborhood. She glides into an alleyway. That's lined with leaning fences and scattered dumpsters. It's quieter here, too quiet. Behind her, a car door slams. She drops behind a dumpster, staying low. Footsteps crunch. Across the gravel. Slow. Measured. Then, a whisper. Christine. Her head jerks in the direction of the voice. A shadow shifts at the far end of the alley. Panic flares for an instant. Until the figure moves into a beam of light. It is Janelle. Christine lurches towards her. How did you, no time, interrupts Janelle. She seizes Christine's arm and begins to haul her toward a side gate. They're tracking you. We have to move. Now. Christine resists, still trying to absorb the shock of seeing her. Tracking me? How? Janelle doesn't reply until they are both in a tiny garage, the door slamming shut behind them. She gets into her bag and pulls out something small, metallic, and flashing red. Christine's stomach twists. Is that a GPS tracker? Janelle's voice is strained. It was stuck under your car bumper. Kody's been using it for weeks. Christine gazes at the thing, her brain reeling. Why are you assisting me? Janelle looks back at her. Because you're not the only one he's after. From the corner, a faint hum catches Christine's eye, a laptop. With its lid open on a workbench, screen filled with what appears to be bank statements and scanned legal documents. Janelle notices her staring. Evidence. Enough to bury him. But it's dangerous to have it here. Christine steps closer, perusing the files. Her pulse quickens when she spots familiar names, hers, Robin's, Mary's, all tied to transactions they never authorized. Before she can speak, a sudden rumble shakes the garage. Headlights cut through the narrow window. Janelle's face hardens. They found us. The headlights outside shift, sweeping slowly across the thin slit of the garage window. Christine and Janelle freeze. The steady rumble of a revving engine hums against the floor, punctuated by the metallic smack of a car door swinging open. A voice, distorted but unmistakable, hails out. Janelle, you don't want to do this. Christine's blood freezes. Kody. Janelle springs into action, switching off the garage light with one swift movement. The laptop screen is now the only glow in the room, casting their faces in ghostly blue. Grab the hard drive, Janelle whispers, shoving a black duffel toward Christine. It's everything. Without it, we've got nothing. Christine fumbles with the laptop's cable as the sound of boots crunching gravel grows louder. Then, a sharp knock on the garage door. It's slow. Deliberate. Like a warning. 10 seconds, Kody's voice breaks the darkness, deep and calm. Open up, or I open it for you. Janelle opens a side cabinet, and a sliver of crawl space appears behind rows of stacked paint cans. Go, she spits. Christine's gut tells her to flee, but she stares at the hard drive in her grasp, the names, the records, the proof. If they lose it now, Kody wins. Another bang on the door, this time harder. Hinges rattle. Christine pushes the hard drive into her bag and ducks into the crawl space, Janelle sliding the cabinet back into place just as a crash explodes the silence. The garage door buckles inward. Metal shrieks as it's pushed upward. Through the small split in the wood, Christine sees them, two men, both wearing dark jackets, faces hidden. One holds a crowbar. The other, a gun. Kody enters behind them, calm as entering his own house. Search everything, he commands. They're here. And I want that drive. Christine's breath hitches, every muscle tense. She's inches from being found, caught in the dark with the reverberation of thick boots getting nearer. This family's drama is far from over, so smash like if you're #TeamWives, subscribe for the next explosive update, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Kiss mark. Behind TLC Sister Wives out.